this 1 year long experiment of running short form videos to your biology channel. Has it been worth it? Would you do it again? What were some of the results?
Absolutely been worth it. I was almost drowning in comments.
Leslie Samuel, you've been doing short form video for quite a while. Tell me, why did you get into short form video in the first place?
Okay, so it's an interesting story. I'm in a mastermind group with this guy named Pat Flynn. He was on your show before, and he started his Short Pocket Monster channel. And he came to our mastermind group and he was telling us about it. And he was like, Leslie, you're doing these biology videos. I think this would be an interesting thing for you to try out. And when I saw what he was able to do, I thought to myself, okay, this is pretty cool. It seemed like it would be easier to create short form video because it's not as much work that I'd have to do. And he's having such success with it. I want to try it out as well. So I just decided to kind of give it a go to see how it goes for me. If it goes as well as him, as not as well as him, or if it just helps me to grow my channel, help me to grow my other platforms. It just seemed like that's the direction so many things were going, so many platforms were going, that it just made sense for me to try it out.
Yeah, and like we just talked about before, everything that Pat touches turns to gold, doesn't it? So it's always so interesting to see that. I'm wondering though. I know that so you were doing it for quite a while, right? For your interactive biology channel, like you were doing it for at least a couple of years or so. Or was it only about a year? How long did you do the short form videos for? Because I noticed that you've just taken a bit of a break at the moment, and I want maybe talk about that as well during the call. But how long did you actually do the short form videos for on your interactive biology channel?
So when we're talking about the daily ones, I did that for almost a year. Before that, I had done some short form videos and I just kind of experimented with different things, and I posted one or two here and there, but I was never consistent with it. But when I started, this was last September, I think I started, and I started doing them daily. And I think I posted about 250 or 260 episodes. So one a day. I skipped a few days, vacation and those types of things, but generally speaking, almost a year that I did the daily short form videos.
Okay, that's cool, because I want to talk about the consistency thing a little bit later. Before we do, though, tell me, with this experiment that you ran for a year, what did you find? What were some of the results that you were getting? I noticed that, like, perhaps your videos didn't go as viral as maybe Pat or other people's, maybe, but what I did notice that you had a consistently relatively high number of views, like you broke through the 300 jail zone. So tell me, what were some of the results you got from that? Views, growth, other opportunities, other benefits. What sort of came through from you from doing these short form videos?
Absolutely. So I was consistently getting a few thousand views on my videos. And some of the videos I was getting, 20, 30,000 views. Other videos I would get 1 or 2 or 3,000 views. But the biggest thing that I noticed was that the engagement that I was getting was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. More comments, more likes, more people interacting with my content. I was I was almost drowning in comments because there were so many people actually engaging with it, not just watching it, but then leaving comments and asking questions and so on. It was not probably, it was definitely the most engagement I've ever gotten on any platform from any type of content that I've ever created. So that was really cool to see. For the first time, I felt like my video content was kind of building a community, because people weren't only talking to me, they were talking to each other and interacting that way and asking questions. And then someone would come in and they would make a bad comment about me. And then other people would chime in and defend me and so on. So it was really cool to see how that form of content actually increase the interaction, the engagement, the feeling of community that I never really had from creating content online. I've had it in different ways, like people subscribing to my email list and engaging with me directly, but to see it was kind of like it had a life of its own. And that was the first time I had experienced that aspect of what I do online.
So what about some? I mean, that's amazing because I think the engagement thing is what everybody's after, right? We want we you look at bigger brands and whatever, or people just starting
Yeah.
up with their channels, whatever, or even well-established channels. Like engagement is one of those key things. I remember when this was many years ago, like 15 years ago. So when I was in my prime for YouTube stuff, I
Hmm.
was posting these videos and getting a ton of comments, lots of engagement. And I remember talking to an SEO guy, like a sort of a really hardcore SEO guy. And I was going, I'm kind of jealous of how you can just, type a few things and get traffic. And he said, no, actually, it's the other way around. We, the SEO guys, are jealous of you guys getting all this engagement because it sends all these amazing signals, even back then, to the algorithms to help you then get more views, etc. So I think the engagement thing is massive. I'm really glad you've been able to experience that. Tell me what else. Like, have you experienced? Like, obviously, by posting daily, your view count would have risen over that time as well because you would have
Yeah.
had those additional views on top of your normal long form videos. But what about other
Hmm.
growth factors like subscribers or
Yeah.
signups to? I'm not sure if you've got a training course or something like that, or maybe other opportunities like interview opportunities. I mean, in fact, this is one of the outcomes of
Exactly.
that. I wouldn't have interviewed you about this unless you did that project. But what other sort of growth initiatives or growth outcomes that you get from doing short form?
Yeah, so it's interesting, right? Because YouTube is my main platform. That's my largest platform. We're at about 370 something thousand subscribers. But how my subscriber growth on YouTube would happen is some months would be really good, and it's an educational channel. So I'd in the beginning of the school year, I'd be getting thousands of subscribers, and when I say thousands, I mean like 5, 6, 7,000 subscribers, and then it would kind of die down as the school year continued on. Over the summer break, I hardly get any views or anything of that sort. When I started doing short form videos, there was a shift to where I was consistently getting about the same number of subscribers every month. And some months, depending on how the videos did, how the short form videos did, I would get significantly more. So even in the summer months, for example, where my subscriber growth might go down to 1 or maybe 2,000, I was still consistently during the summer getting 5, 6, sometimes even 7,000 subscribers in a month. And for me, that's pretty good. When I see that kind of growth and that kind of engagement, that's great. Now, that's YouTube. But then I was also getting some growth on TikTok and also on Instagram. Facebook, not so much because I started that significantly later. I focused initially on Instagram, TikTok, and also on YouTube. The biggest, most consistent growth I was seeing was on YouTube, but Instagram and TikTok were also growing as well. So, yeah, subscriber growth, definitely. In terms of opportunities, I actually was getting more opportunities than I took because I
Mm.
was trying to, I'm posting daily videos, right? So people are seeing that and they're interested and they want me to come and be interviewed and so on. And I'm like, okay, this is great, but it's not currently my focus. So I'm gonna turn this down for now. Maybe at some point in the future. I go through phases where I take a bunch of interviews, and then phases where I'm like, okay, I can't do any interviews right now because I'm focused on whether it's the content creation or other aspects of my business. But yeah, I kept getting invited to do these kinds of things. Um, yeah, so subscriber growth, yes. Growth in views, definitely. Opportunities to do more things, absolutely. Now, I didn't have a direct tie to monetization in terms of a course that I was offering or anything of that sort, but it did help with some of my ad revenue. Unfortunately, you don't get paid as much with short form views as you do with long form views, but it did help. I mean, more views resulted in more income. So I definitely did see a revenue growth as a result of that, but directly from ads.
Okay, so I noticed that you did actually you've taken a bit of a hiatus, or you've stopped
Mhm.
posting for the last month or so, and I want to dig into that a little bit later. I want to get into the reasons for that because I'm sure you've got some a very interesting story to tell there. But
Yeah.
before the next thing I want to get into, but even before I do that, the last question I have before I ask you about some really practical things, because there's some you've been doing some really amazing things with AI and short form
Yeah.
in particular. Before I get into that, overall, if you were to look at your this short form video experiment that you had on, I keep on calling it an experiment. I hope you don't mind, but it seems to me like, yeah, everything's an experiment, right? But
Absolutely.
if you were to look at this 1 year long activity or experiment of running short form videos to your biology channel, what do you think? Has it been worth it? Would you do it again? How would you do things differently, etc.?
It's absolutely been worth it. I not would do it again. I will do it again. I saw it as an experiment that went well, and I want to continue doing it. The only reason I stopped, well, there are multiple reasons I stopped doing it. One is because the person that was editing them for me was no longer able to do it, and I started editing, and I didn't want to edit, and that led to me just saying, okay, I'm going to take a break from this. But there were other aspects of my business that I wanted to focus on. Once I get those other aspects of my business at the level that I want them to be, I plan on getting right back to this because it was beneficial and I want to do more of it. I plan on not only doing it for that aspect of my business, but also for other aspects of my business because I see the direct result, the growth that happens as a result of it. So, was it successful? Absolutely. Will I do it again? Absolutely. That is the plan. I just have to put some other things in place so that I'm not the one doing all of this stuff. Yes, I can record videos all day, but I don't want to be the one editing them. I don't want to be the one scheduling them, posting them, and doing all that stuff. I want someone else to take care of that. So I will get back to it, but I will do it in a more strategic way.
Okay, that's really amazing too. I'm so glad you said it was totally worth it, because I wasn't quite sure why you stopped. But it sounds like you've touched on the reason there, and maybe we can dig into some more if we need to at the end. But it's actually a really nice segue into the next thing I want to talk about, which is using AI in particular to help you
Yep.
create short form videos, because editing has always been the number one pain point when it comes to video
Yeah.
marketing or video production, right? So you managed to get someone else to do it for you for a while, and that allowed you to just be the talent, right? Which is amazing. But nowadays, we've got things like Sora coming up, other AI
Mhm.
video engines or video LLMs or whatever they're called, to help us maybe reduce that bottleneck even more. But something that I've been really impressed by you, and this is relatively rare to see, is
Mhm.
your work ethic and your ability to just keep on doing this every single day. So I know I know you stopped now for the reasons you've mentioned, but when you were in it, like you were doing it every single day. And I was just watching one of your recent short form videos on your Leslie Samuel channel, where you talk about using the N8N service to help you come up with an infinite number of ideas. So you never run out of ideas for short form, because that's one of the other pain points, right? It's like there's production, yes, but then it's like knowing what to talk about, what to have inside your videos. I was wondering if we shift gears a little bit here, and I'm wondering if we could even have, or maybe let's talk a little bit about this, how you use
Okay.
AI to help you create your video content for short form. And I know you've been using it for idea generation in particular, and perhaps we can dig into that a little bit. Maybe you can share your screen a little bit on how you use N8N, for example, to come up with ideas. And I think that'll be really cool, because I've known about N8N for a long time, but I haven't used it. But maybe just in general, let's talk a bit about how you've been using AI to help you with short form. Okay, you've had your own video editor, but what have you been using AI with in terms of helping you smash it out with short form?
Yeah, so I gotta kind of walk you through the evolution of how this all happened, right? When I decided I needed to go all in on the short form stuff and do one new short form video a day. Actually, we didn't even talk about what kind of videos I make. I do these biology short form videos that's called Truth or Trash. And it's kind of like a biology myth busting. I'm going to make a bold claim like some crazy thing happens in biology, and you're going to think, no, that's not real. And by the end, you're going to find out, no, it is true. Or if it's not true, I'm gonna say something that sounds true, and you're gonna find out that, wait, no, it is not technically true. So it's kind of like a biology myth busting. Now, I don't have all those ideas to be able to come out with a new video every single day. I don't even know all the information. So I decided in the beginning, I'm just going to use ChatGPT to help me do this. So I would use ChatGPT. I would ask it for, I already showed it how I create my videos and the types of content and the type of script that I like to do it, how I like it to flow, and so on. And I would go to ChatGPT every so often and I would say, hey, can you give me 50 new ideas for a truth or trash video? And it would come up with some new ideas. The ones that I liked, I would choose those. And then I would have it actually write the script for me. Because, I mean, as much as I love biology, I don't know all that information. I want to be the person that is going to present that information. And I actually got this when I was doing a TV show on the Discovery Network uh, called Strange Evidence. I would show up and they had script writers, they had people that were doing the research and all of that stuff. And they just gave me the information and I just presented it to the world. And I thought, hey, it'd be great if I had a team to do that. I don't have a team, but I do have AI. So I actually started just using ChatGPT to do that. Now, at a certain point, I thought to myself, how can I make this even more efficient? And at that time, I was learning about automation and systems like N8N. And that is kind of like a system where you can say, if this happens, I want you to do this. Or every Monday at this time, do this, and then do this, and then do that, and then do this. So what I ended up doing was I ended up building two workflows. One workflow to generate ideas, and the thing was, every Monday morning at 1 a.m. while I'm in my bed, it would come up with a list of 30 ideas, and then it would present those ideas to me. um, it will automatically send a message to ChatGPT. ChatGPT would come up with those ideas, and then I would have it presented to me. Once it's presented to me, I can go ahead and say, "Hey, I like this. I don't like this. These are the ones that I like." And once I've decided these are the ones I like, I had a different workflow that will then automatically send those ideas to ChatGPT and come up with scripts. So basically, I created an idea generator, a script writer that could do 95% of the work without me having to be there. All I need to do is show up and say, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. And then I have to look at the script, make sure it meets the criteria that I have for my videos. And once I have that, I put it on my teleprompter and I just started busting through it. And by doing this, I remember you said you love my work ethic, but the times when I've been the most consistent is when I said, okay, I'm going to create these workflows. I'm going to have it come up with 85 different scripts. And then I'm going to sit over the next 3 days and I'm going to record all 85 of those videos. I'm good for the next 3 months. I'm going to pass it on to my editor and I am done. That's pretty much how I was
Wow.
able to be consistent for the first time when it comes to daily video content.
That's amazing. So there's a little bit of a cheat code there, I think. Not
It
cheat in
is.
a bad way, but I
Yeah.
think that's a huge optimization that you had. So, and also the batch processing, doing like enough content for 3 months. So it means you're basically freed up for the rest of 3 months. You don't have to think about it or worry about it. It's sort of like you just focus and hone in on it for that period of time and get it done. I have a question for you about the scripting stuff and also the
Yeah.
specifically scripting using AI. So there's two things for me here. One is when you're reading from a teleprompter. So even if it's your own words, that's one layer of removal from, I guess, who you truly are, maybe, because it's a little bit of you're reading stuff. It's like
Yeah.
reading a sermon or something like that. Doesn't
Yeah.
quite
Yeah.
have the same feeling as when you're speaking from the heart. Like, we're not talking from a teleprompter right now. We're just having a conversation, right?
Yeah.
So that's the one layer, or one issue, or one thing. Hopefully you can address it. The second one is, I think, one a lot of people have on their minds is that with AI, when it comes up with a cool jazzy script for you that is kind of perfect. It's been researched or whatever else. Been You've got this huge intelligence that's written this script for you with your guidelines, of course. That's to me almost like another step removed. So now you've got like the teleprompter thing script, but then also another level of, hey, now all of a sudden it's AI that's coming up with the words and you just end up reading them. So it's like there's two levels removed from your true essence, I guess, in a way. I'm not sure how else to express it, but that's how I would say it. What's your take on that? Because when I watch your videos, I don't seem to get that feeling. So I think you're really well trained with
Exactly.
your teleprompter, etc. But what's your thoughts on that? And have you done anything special to make your videos come across, like more real? That so it doesn't look like
Yeah.
you're reading from a teleprompter, or it doesn't look like it was done by AI or anything like that.
So, number one, I think you'd be surprised at how many of my videos are actually from a teleprompter. I have gotten, because I've done it so much, I've gotten really good at making it look like I'm not reading from a teleprompter. The thing is, right, when a lot of people read from teleprompters, they're looking at this script and they're trying to read this script. When I'm reading from a teleprompter, number one, the script is formatted to match my tone. So sometimes I might say so, and sometimes I might say and sometimes I might look away and laugh, and those types of things. I know how I speak well enough that I could script those things into my script so that when I am recording my videos, it sounds just like it would sound if I'm, coming up with it on the spot. I think not I think there is a skill that is coming up with scripts, but there's another level of that skill that is coming up with a script that's authentically going to match how you speak. And I think it's important for us to study how we speak naturally and the natural expressions that we have and build that into what we do. Number one. Number two, when I'm reading from a teleprompter, I'm I'm being very intentional about something. Like right now I'm talking here, and every so often I kind of look away, or I kind of like I'm more introspective, and you can kind of see that. I will do that even though I'm reading from a script, because I want it to seem as close to as authentic as possible. So there are some subtle things you can do to make sure that that happens the way that you want it to happen. What I highly recommend people do is look at videos that you make when you're not reading a teleprompter, and look at it and critique it and see, okay, what am I doing? What kinds of gestures am I doing? How am I moving my eyes when I think in certain ways? And basically learn to be yourself even better. So that's number one. I find that when I read a script, most people can't even tell that I'm reading a script. If I were reading a script right now, I would be doing it just like I am doing this right now. So that's point number one. Point number two is that second level of detachment where it's the AI that's writing the script now. And the reality is, yes, it is AI that is writing my script, but I've given it so many examples of how I want it to go, and then I am doing a pass on that script as well. So I'm not just saying AI has written this script, I'm going to take it and read it just as it is. I'm actually going to take it and I see, okay, right here it's saying you are going to such and such. I know I don't say going to, so I'm gonna switch it up and I'm gonna make it gonna, because that's what I do. It might use words that I don't necessarily use. I actually find that it's gotten really good when you give it enough examples of mimicking how you do things. But if I read it and I'm like, wait, this doesn't sound like me, I'm gonna edit it and I'm going to tweak it to make it sound like me. And it might not be the most grammatically correct thing, but I'm not always the most grammatically correct person. So I'm doing that second pass to make sure that it sounds like me. When I'm editing it, I'm actually reading it out loud to see, okay, does this sound like me? Would I say this? Or does it need something different in there? So that's the way that I generally approach it. Now, there's also some people might have an issue with the fact that it is not your original content because you didn't come up with the idea, you didn't come up with the script or anything of that sort. But you know what I learned from being on TV? So much of what you see on TV that you think is this person just sharing their thoughts and their ideas is the result of people researching and scripting. This is something that we've been doing for many, many years. And I look at this as no different. Okay, it might not be a person doing it for me, but the LLMs have become so good at doing it that it seems as if it is. So that's how I look at it, and it's been able to. I ask myself this question: if I weren't using this, would I be able to show up in a better way? And the answer is no. By doing it this way, I'm able to show up more. I'm able to provide more value. I'm able to serve people more. I'm able to just help more. And to me, that's worth it.
My issue is that oftentimes when I get these scripts back from ChatGPT, is that it looks and sounds better than than me.
Mhm.
It's pretty good. It's close,
Yeah.
but it's like, hey, I'm not that good. You know, I'm not. I wouldn't say that well. So I often find myself having to, make it worse in a way
Yeah. Dumb
to
it
make it
down.
seem more like me. Yeah,
Yeah, and I will listen. I think one mistake that people make is they just take what ChatGPT says or Gemini or whatever the case might be. No, okay, if it gives me something that doesn't sound like me, I'm gonna go back and forth with the prompting, and I'm gonna try a different prompt until it sounds exactly like me. To me, that's the biggest thing, right? You just go back and forth until you're like, oh shoot, did I write this? And until you get to that point, don't stop refining the prompt. That's the way I do it. I'm like, listen, this sounds, yeah, just like you, especially when you're dealing with something like biology. Sometimes it sounds too intelligent, and I don't sound that intelligent, so I need to dumb it down a little bit. And I do that until I have a prompt that I believe captures me 95%. And that extra 5%, I can do the tweaks. I have no problem with it.
that's awesome. So, okay, so I would love for you to show us a little bit about your magic, a little bit about not all your magic, but a little bit of your magic. Maybe you could give us a short mini masterclass on how you use
Ooh.
N8N either for the idea generation or for the script generation, and only share what you feel comfortable sharing, of course, Leslie. But we did mention it a little bit before the call. But yeah, how do you go about it? Because you talk about N8N as an automation sort of a tool,
Mhm.
but how do you hook it all up? Like, do you just integrate with ChatGPT, and like maybe you could share your screen a little bit and share with us how that all happens, and then
Oh
we'll
man,
finish with that.
you giving me permission to get geeky? I like it. Let's do
Absolutely,
it.
yeah, go
Okay.
for it. Okay, so I'll share your screen
All
while
right.
you
So
talk us through it.
perfectly. Perfect. So this is a workflow in N8N, and it doesn't look very complicated, and it's not very complicated. So what I have is this is my idea generation workflow. I've set up a system where like you can add nodes here. So if I come here and I say plus, I can say, hey, I want to add a certain node, and that gives it a certain functionality. This first node is I just set a schedule, and this schedule says if I click in here, every 1 week, Monday at 1 a.m. All right. You don't have to know all the setup here. It's just here. I just said every week, Monday, 1 a.m. I want this stuff to happen. Then what it's going to do is it's going to read a spreadsheet. This spreadsheet that I have in Google Sheets, in Google Drive, it is a spreadsheet that has all of the episodes that I've created. So it's going to every Monday look at everything that I've created, combine all of the topics, and sends it to ChatGPT. So this is a ChatGPT node here. If I click in here, you're going to see I've selected my OpenAI account, and I'm telling it, hey, you're a creative biology educator helping generate short form videos. And it has like the first part of my prompt. And then here, it's going to say, here are all of the things that I've already used. It's going to pull it from the other stuff. And I'm asking it to come up with new ones. If I zoom this in here, you can see the rest of the information that I have here. So this is basically going to come up with those ideas. Now, I should have tried this before we did this because I haven't actually done this in months, and sometimes things will break. But we're gonna try it really quick to see if it's gonna work here. I'm executing the workflow. You can see it found 314 items. It's sending it to ChatGPT. Oh, it worked. Okay, sweet.
Huh.
I'm going to open this up right now. I'm glad it worked. So here are some of the topics. Some species of jellyfish can reverse their aging process and potentially live forever. And it's
So
telling me that
so
that
so
is a
these are
true statement.
so these are what
Yeah,
they
go ahead.
see their ideas for the videos now, or are they is giving you like the hook already as well for the video?
This is telling me the idea for the video. So my video ideas are statements, either something that's true or something that's not true.
Got it.
So it's coming up with that right now. Mitochondria have their own DNA and separate from the DNA in your cell's nucleus. Or human skin stops regenerating after the age of 40, and that's trash. So it's just come up with all of these ideas for me right here on the spot. And I didn't have to do anything. This is the first page. There's another page because I asked it for 20. And these are now 20 ideas that I can either say I like it or I don't like it.
That's just magic,
That's
isn't it?
That's
Yeah.
it. And I
Yeah.
don't have to do anything. So when I wake up on when this is activated, because you can see I have it inactive right now, but when this is activated and I wake up on Monday morning, I will have these 20 ideas and I could say I like it or I don't like it.
There's
Now,
one thing, Leslie, if you could go,
yeah,
if
go
I'm
ahead.
okay to ask you a question about the spreadsheet that piqued my
Sure.
interest. So what's in that spreadsheet? Is that an automated thing as well, or do you add things manually into that spreadsheet?
So right now, the way this is set up is it is doing it manually. I'm building workflows for clients really right now. And the one that I'm doing is it'll do this same thing, but it's for podcasts, it's for videos, it's for blog posts and all of that stuff. It will automatically send it to the spreadsheet. And then she can go to the spreadsheet and say, I approve this, I decline this, and all that stuff. And then everything else is going to happen. So you can
Wow.
do it however you want. This was early. This is like 1.0 version of maybe I should. If I thought about that, I would have pulled up hers that I'm building for her right now so that you can see how that works. But this is what I was doing for my short form videos.
Okay, and tell
Um,
me with the spreadsheet, then is it just the title of the video, or is it the actual content like the transcript? What's
It is
what do
just
you?
it is just the title of the videos because the only
Okay,
purpose of this is I want it to know what I've already covered.
got it.
So this one is a very simple one. Now, the one that I'm building out for my client right now, it will have the title, the description, the tags, and whether she has the date that it was published, and all this kind of stuff. And then we have a workflow for creating the content and writing the articles, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. But with N8N, basically, you can build whatever you want. This is my first version of an idea generation system, and then there's another workflow that I have here where it will come up with the script.
Okay, so I think you've already really piqued my interest in this, Leslie. Tell me, with N8N, it's a subscription service, right? You just go to N8N, whatever, is it .com or
Ooh.
.ai, and then sign up, and
So
then you've got access?
actually, N8N is kind of like WordPress. It's an open source platform. So yes, you can go to n8n.io and you can sign up for it and you pay a subscription for it. Or you can install it on your own hosting server. You can get a VPS, and just like how you can do like the 2-3 click WordPress install, you can do that on your own thing, and then you have no limitations in terms of the number of workflows that you can create, in terms of the number of executions and so on. So I started with their paid service, and then I was like, hey, I'm gonna just pay. I think I paid like $120 for 2 years of hosting, and I installed N8N on there, and now I could just do as much as I want.
That's awesome. I was just trying to load their website here, but it's not loading for me, so I can't show you guys. But yeah, so that's just n8n.io. But tell me, do you kind of need to have a PhD or something to be able to use N8N? I mean, you're a pretty smart guy. You went to university. You're doing all this fancy biology stuff, and you seem to be very technically able as well. What's your thoughts on that? Can anybody do this, or do you kind of need a bit of help?
Okay, so when it comes to when it comes to automation like this, there are different levels. The lowest level is using a tool like Zapier, because it's the same type of thing, right? With Zapier, you could say, "Hey, I want this to happen, and then this happens," or "When this happens, I want you to do that." Zapier, I see that as kind of like entry level that allows you to do some really cool things, and you don't really need to know much in order to do it. The next level up from there is make.com. It's a little more technical, but it allows you to do more. And then the next level up is N8N, which is much more technical. It's based on the same principles as make.com and Zapier, but it allows you to do much more advanced stuff. And with that, you will get into a little bit of soft coding. And I found, like, when I was getting started, a lot of the stuff I didn't really know how to do it. So I would ask ChatGPT, "Hey, I'm trying to set up a node that does this. Can you tell me what to do?" And it will give me the code. Now that I've been doing it for long enough, I'm much more well versed in how to do it. So N8N is on the more technical end and allows you to do some really complex automations. Zapier is on the simple end, and just about anybody can get going with Zapier. So you have some options there. The reason I went with N8N is, number one, it allows you to do more advanced stuff. But number two, because it's open source, I can install it and then remove all of the limitations, and I can do so much more with it.
So cool. I love it. I love what you've been able to do with it, because I haven't touched it at all. It's just, I've
Yeah.
seen you talk about it. I've seen a lot of people talk about it. I've just been too busy to look into it. But you're actually doing this for clients as well now, right? So you mentioned you've done this little workflow for one of your clients, but this is actually part of your income engine right now as well. Like you're helping people set up these engines from. Do you just focus on video creators, or how's that set up for you?
No, yeah. So, we spoke about the fact that I took a break from the biology videos, and part of it is, I was doing this and I'm learning now about N8N, and I'm seeing how amazing it is and how much time it's saving me. And I thought to myself, oh, shoot, other business owners can benefit from this as well. Why not build this stuff out for them? And that's exactly what I started doing. So, no, it's not specifically focused on video creators. That one client that I spoke about happens to be a video creator and a podcaster and so on. So I basically took my workflow and made it much more advanced so that she can have her own system. I have another client right now that I'm working on building a customer service agent for her, where if someone sends an email through her ticketing system, it will automatically come up with an idea, a response to that ticket based on the question that they have, based on what they're purchasing, based on the information that she has on her website. And it can take all of that stuff into consideration and come up with a really good response, which is going to save them a ton of time when it comes to customer service. So I basically will come into a business and we'll look at, okay, what are the things that you have going on? What processes do you have? Where are you doing things that, it can be automated and save you a lot of time and a lot of money? All right, let's automate that process. So that's basically the business that I'm running right now.
A question just popped into my head. Can you use
Yeah.
N8N for helping you? I don't know how, but helping you get more views on your videos. Like, is there something you can do to help with the promotion side of your videos? Whether short form or long form, doesn't matter, I guess.
Yeah, so the answer to any question, I found that any question that starts with "Can you use N8N2?" The answer is usually yes. um,
Awesome.
the details are a little more interesting. Like, okay, so if you wanted to get more views on your short form, you could attack that in a number of different ways. Number one, you can have N8N be like a research. You can build a research agent that is going to find like the top trending topics and analyze, okay, your competitors and see what they're posting. And I've seen workflows, for example, where they will analyze your competitors' videos and compare the number of views they get on that particular topic to the number of subscribers they have. So if they have if it's a high number, so they get way more views to the number of subscribers, that tells you that there's some viral potential of that specific topic. And if you were to do the same thing, okay, you might be more likely to do that, to get more views. So you can use it on the research end. You can use it on the helping you to create more effective videos end, and then you can use it on the promotion end. What happens when you post a video? Well, maybe you have some things that are automatically happening in order to promote it. Maybe it's automatically sending an email to your list based on your email format. Maybe it is automatically sharing it to other platforms. Maybe it's doing something else. Like, you can think through the process of what are the things that I would normally do to promote this, but maybe I don't do it because I don't have the time or I don't have the money to hire somebody to do it. And then you can just build that out, whatever that thing is. That's the way I look at N8N. What are the things that I need someone to do that either I can't afford someone to do, or it doesn't need a human to do it, especially now that these LLM systems are so good at whether it's coming up with ideas, or coming up with content, or coming up with ways to promote things. There's so much that you can do there.
Gosh, I feel like we could speak about this for at least another 2 or 3 hours, maybe even more, Leslie. I kind of wish I'd started on the N8N stuff a bit earlier in this interview, but maybe we could set up another call. I don't know, but it's very, very exciting. I am just conscious of the time.
Yeah.
So where would you like to send people? I think in terms of, because you've got a couple of things going. You've got the interactive biology thing that we've talked about,
Yeah.
but you're also doing this AI stuff now behind the scenes, using the lessons you've learned from your short form video experience and other things on your biology channel and other places. Where would you like to send people? Where do you think people could go to find out more about you? Because I'm sure there's going to be people who will be interested in, getting on a call with you and asking you more about this automation stuff that you're doing with N8N. Where would you send people at the moment, either for that or wherever you want to send people?
Yeah, you can go to iamlesliesamuel.com. And if you go to iamlesliesamuel.com/automation, when actually right there on that site, there's the automation link. If you click on automation, that'll take you to the information about my service, and you can find out more about what I do there. And you can always reach out to me from my site. And I am Leslie Samuel on every platform, so you can find me there that way as well.
Cool. I'm just on the site here right now. It looks pretty cool. So I wasn't even aware that you had like a nice landing page for this. It looks really neat, Leslie. I think you're really in your element with this. I just look at when you talk about it, your whole body lights up and your whole face is shining and your eyes are twinkling. So I think you're really onto something here, which is really awesome to see. So if you do want to check that out,
it's really the type of thing where I'm realizing how much time it could save people, how much more productive it can make people. And I realize that because of how much more productive it's made me to be able to make that much content, to be able to automate all of these different systems in my business. It makes a huge quality, a difference in the quality of my life, in the quality of my business. And I'm like, shoot, I could help other people experience this as well. And that is something that excites me for sure.
Absolutely. Before we close up, one final thought from you, Leslie. Where do you think AI is going to take us, especially when it comes to video, and maybe even hone it in on short form video? What's your thoughts on that? Especially with things like
I think that,
Sora 2 and Viewer 3 and all this sort of stuff coming out. What's your thoughts?
dude, there's so much going on right now. And what I'm always amazed by is the fact that what we're seeing now, this is the worst it's ever gonna be. And quite frankly, if it were to stop here, the resources and the tools that we have for creating content right now is, the barrier to entry is so much lower than it's ever been. If you want ideas, you can get the ideas. If you want help with scripting the videos, you can get that. If you want help with the marketing, you can get that. With the promotion, you can get that. If you're stuck, you can get stuck so easily. But now with tools like VO3 and Sora and all of these things, now, I've made videos that are like, I made a video to promote my speaking and emceeing. That's like a full production sci-fi type thing. And I was never able to do something like that before because I'm not a sci-fi. I don't even know what you call the person that does the things. But I was able to make such a cool video of a robot doing this kind of stuff and speaking on stage and so on, and how they say AI is taking over. So they decided to have it MC an event and it failed. But then he started looking at me, my videos, and he became such a better MC robot. I mean, the level of creativity that you're able to have now is astonishing. And it's just getting better and better and better to where you're only limited now by your creativity. If you can think it, you can make it. Even though you didn't know how to make it before, we now have the tools to do that. So I think it's a very exciting time to be a content creator. And the more we leverage these tools, the more amazing stuff we'll be able to do in the future.
Leslie, thank you so much. Everyone else watching this, if you want to find out more about Leslie, go on to IamLeslieSamuel.com. Check it out. Leslie, always such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for all the information, and I'm wishing you all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. A pleasure talking to you, and thanks for having me on.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to grow your influence with daily short form videos, Vubli makes it effortless. Post everywhere, be seen everywhere. Try it free at vubli.ai. I'll see you in the next episode.